The Grudge is a movie about a curse that is born when someone dies of extreme anger or sorrow. The curse takes the form of a ghost that's capable of killing whoever it comes into contact with. The curse is passed on from person to person and it goes on forever. It's a terrifying concept to think about. It is a good thing that a curse isn't born every time someone dies in extreme anger or sorrow. But what if The Grudge wasn't just a film? What if The Grudge was real? Let's imagine what it would be like. At least for the next few minutes. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Joubray. If this is your first time here, smash the thumbs up, subscribe and notification bell, and ask us a question in the comments below. And if you want to connect with the creative team behind Life's Biggest Questions, the links to our social media accounts are posted down below in the description box. The first time I tried to watch The Grudge, I actually couldn't get through it. I left the theater and watched Team America instead. That's how scared I was. So you can understand how difficult it is for me to imagine what would happen if The Grudge was real. But I'm gonna do it. For you, dear subscribers of Life's Biggest Questions. The Grudge is an American supernatural horror film released in 2004 that was actually a remake of a Japanese film called Ju-on: The Grudge. And we all know just how much the Japanese love their supernatural horror. Basically, the premise of The Grudge is this. Every time someone dies while being extremely angry or sad, a curse is born. The curse appears as an entity where the person died. The entity is known as an onryo ghost, which is a Japanese term for a vengeful spirit that can cause harm to the living to try to redress the wrongs it experienced while it was alive. According to Japanese urban legend, an onryo driven by vengeance has the power to cause their enemies death and also cause natural disasters. The people who encounter the curse die, and then the curse is subsequently reborn and passed from victim to victim. Hence the name of the film, The Grudge. First things first, if The Grudge was real, it would mean that every time anyone was murdered, a curse would be born. Unless the person who was murdered died without being angry or sad, but I would imagine that being murdered is a pretty traumatizing experience. Being murdered by a lover would definitely cause anger or even extreme sadness, even if the victim only felt those emotions for a short period of time before they died. But if The Grudge was real, it would give victims of murder a chance at revenge. The story of The Grudge dictates that the curse will appear as an entity wherever that person died. As we know, murderers often return to the scene of the crime that they committed. It would mean that all victims of murders would have a chance to kill their murderers. If The Grudge was real, it could mean that people would be far less likely to commit murders in the first place. Knowing that it's possible that the person who you killed could inevitably come back as a vengeful spirit that could then kill you would make a lot of people less likely to commit murder, I feel like. I mean, it's not rocket science. You commit first-degree murder because you want to get rid of someone. The idea of your victim coming back for revenge is just not on the table. I mean, you could technically avoid the curse as long as you stayed away from the place where you committed the murder, but what if that place was your house? If you committed murder in your house, you would inevitably have to move. Otherwise, you would be killed by the vengeful spirit of the person that you killed. Whoever moved into your house after you would then encounter the curse and likely die. If the police knew about the death curse, it would be pretty difficult to get away with murder. Every person that lived in your house after you would die from the curse. It all started with the murder that was first committed by you. All the police would have to do is figure out who the curse started with, and boom, they know who the murderer is. We're also going to address the curse being born out of people who die of extreme sorrow. Remember, it's not just someone that dies in anger. The curse can also be born if you have died of extreme sorrow. An example of people who die of extreme sorrow could be prisoners of war. Imagine what would have happened if The Grudge was real in Nazi Germany. The combined sorrow from all the prisoners at Nazi death camps would have essentially wiped out the Nazis. They would have created an army of onryo ghosts. Another example of someone who dies of extreme sorrow is someone that commits suicide, and sadly, a lot of people commit suicide. About 1.4% of all deaths are suicides. Essentially, someone that's suicidal that knew about the curse could use their suicide to get back at people who have wronged them. A suicidal person could send out messages to the people who have wronged them, asking them to visit, then kill themselves so that the curse is born, and then when they are visited by someone, for example, an ex-lover, the curse would then kill that person, and nothing would happen to you because, you're dead. To top things off, according to scientists, you really can die of a broken heart. According to a study at Harvard Medical School, if someone significant in your life dies, your risk of heart attack increases to 21 times higher within the first day, and within the first week, 6 times higher. It's the combination of stress, a lack of sleep, and forgetting to take medication that puts people who are mourning at risk. So the point that I'm trying to make is, essentially, if The Grudge was real, we would all be pretty much screwed. I know we say that a lot on this channel, but it's true. Think about it. Every time someone dies of extreme anger or sorrow, a curse is born. And every time someone came into contact with that curse, they would die, likely of extreme anger or sorrow. And it would go on forever and ever until the end of time. There would be nobody left. Well, there you have it. These are just a few examples of what I think would happen if The Grudge was real. Let me know what you think would happen in the comments below. For now, I'm Charlotte Joubray, and you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. If you want to go on an LBQ binge, check out the playlist that's clickable on the screen right now. And don't forget to turn on those notifications, and we will see you in a future episode of Life's Biggest Questions.